Okay, so here's the next thing. After we've finished our videos and how to upload our videos, next we need to talk about how we're going to actually share this document. There has been so much confusion about sharing these forms across teacher land. And so I'm going to show you the different techniques that you use to share. So in order to share a document, you need to go up to this little purple thing, this button that says send. Okay, and inside the send, you'll see the send form. There's three different options here. You can either send it through email, you can send it using a link, or you can send it using an embed. Okay, now what each of those do, if I say I send this through an email, this is absolutely my favorite way, especially to other teachers, because when they get this form, they can fill out the form in real time in their email. Let's see what that looks like. So I'm going to put in my email address, select this is the name of it, and there's a message. I've invited you to fill out a form. You can extend on this, say you're sending a form to a teacher to find out if a student has been behaving a certain way. So I created forms for behavior, and I would send them to my students, not my students, but my teachers, and I would just say, hey, are they doing these types of behaviors, or are they not, whichever it was. And then I was able to fill out the data for my eSped docs based off of that. This is important. Include the form in the email. When I check that, let's see what happens. So I hit send, and this is going to my email for the school. Okay, so I've got a form here, it says, and let's see what it does. I click on this, and look, I can fill out the form right here in my email. There are several options to choose from for the user ends. Now look, I don't have the video, obviously, and I haven't shown you guys what this looks like, but if I push this, it'll take me to the video link, okay, and then that'll show you all the different things about the video, and then you can simply come down here. Oh yeah, of course that's the answer. What is the neat thing about the user cog? Okay, when I hit continue, because a moment ago we had go to section number 2 after section 1. Now when I continue, what should we expect to see? Oh, look at this. It takes us to the form, and now it asks us to watch the video. We can answer our questions, and then hit next, and look, it fills out the form. And so it daisy chains into what you would want for a user to experience. Which way is my favorite way to share the forms? Well, I mentioned the email is my favorite way. And then send me a copy of the response. I hit submit, I can view my score. Oh, cool, I got a 5 out of 5. All right. Also, when I do that view, whenever I view it or I submitted that response, it will actually send me an email with my score, all the answered questions, and that sort of thing, okay? So that's how that works. Next, what I want to do is show you guys what it looks like to send the link. So here's the link. We've already done the email. The link is something that you would maybe use inside of, say, a slideshow, or possibly a Google Classroom for maybe your students. So a lot of times whenever you're in your Google Classroom and you create an assignment, a lot of folks would need to add a link. And so whenever I add that link in here, it will put that form in there so that people can come in and maybe you created a quiz inside of that form. Now, this isn't to say this is the only way. You could create a quiz from a form right here inside your Google Classroom and go that route. or you can go the route that I kind of demonstrated in the previous video. Okay, so that's one way to use the link. Also, sometimes you might want to send a bunch of people a link or a shared link. And if you did that, you could use the link for that purpose as well. Or if you're using, say, a slideshow from Google Slides, you can link out using, say, a picture or some text, and you could do that. Okay, so that's what the link can be used for. Or if you have a bunch of hyperlinks on a page and you need people to do a bunch of forms, say, or maybe they have directional, that's what the link is, to hyperlink. The last one is the embed. The embed is for people that like create websites. So maybe you want to set this little iframe into a site and then have the people fill out a form directly on their site in a sidebar, or maybe the main body of the website. And obviously you can add some restrictions, or you can share on Facebook or Twitter these different link options. Okay, so that is how you essentially share your form, and that is how you can receive your data. Now, speaking of the data, a minute ago I went ahead and I filled out the form, and so you're going to receive responses. Okay, and generally speaking, you're going to have more than one person return responses. So you'll see a lot of scores that are in this email list. And what's great about this is I can actually click through individual responses and see what an individual may have done, or I can look at this from a question point of view, or I can look through this as an overall point of view. And so the overall has some graphical elements, and that is what is so neat about the forms. And whenever you dig a little deeper, you'll find that these are nothing more than linked Google Spreadsheets. And this is probably the neatest feature that I can say about the forms. So you can create spreadsheets straight from the forms, and you can do great data manipulation from the sheets. Let's see what that looks like. So I can actually click on this button right here that says create the spreadsheet. And so it just says create new spreadsheet, Google Form responses. You can rename that if you want, or you can go into an existing sheet. We'll create a new one. All right, now then, here's what the sheet looks like. It gives us the timestamp, tells us who it is, what their score is. It will go through and list every one of the questions and the user's answers right below it. And that is as simple as that. So what we type in here as our question answers, those become the fields for the user's answer. Okay? And then our answers or the questions of each of those fields becomes the essential column for each of those users. Okay? And so what will happen, as you have a bunch of people inside of your database, you will be able to now take those elements of information. You can resort using different options inside of your spreadsheet, and that way you can see how certain maybe users answered a particular question. And that's essentially the type of data study that we as teachers do on our students, depending on the questions. Say 20 of them answered no and 100 answered yes. I want to see who my no people are, so I might give them a new questionnaire to see if we can go ahead and accomplish that goal or whatever it may be. But these spreadsheets, you can take these to a whole nother level, and you can share out information and statistics based off of these spreadsheets. And so, as you can see in the spreadsheets, you can insert charts, and that essentially is the thing that the Google Forms does for us in these responses. That is so awesome. The spreadsheets are so awesome. It's such a powerful tool. And that's basically how we share the forms, and that is how we gather our data collection for our usage.